You're listening to another Geek Pride podcast. Yo, motherfuckers, and welcome to the Geek Pride podcast. I've been listening to rap in my car and I'm very hyped. I am the legendary beard, Mr. Mike Orvis, and with me are my squad with a SKWAD because that's how the cool kids spell it. I have Mizzle Gizzle, leader of Geek Prizzle.
Sup, Holmes.
Wow. We've got Bevan XCOM, give it to you.
Gonna give it to you.
He certainly is. And David.
Alright, how's it going? No rap vernacular from me.
I like the idea that we have like this shit hot rap crew, but we have like a really straight friend. It's just like,
yeah,
you're right.
I'm the designated driver.
Yeah, it should be Easy D.
Oh, sweet.
Easy D.
But
well, hang on, that says
Easy
something
D.
about his character that I'm not sure that I'm prepared to just throw out there. He might not be an Easy D.
I am easy.
I might have to wine and dine him.
Are you D?
You know well, Matt. You know well.
Goodness gracious me. It gets sooner and sooner. Can we try and not have a pornographic title? Because it seems that every time I run the show, we end up with some salacious title that I think, well, Geary's never going to accept this, and then he sort of has to because he runs out of time.
Well, to be honest, I think what we're going to have to talk about for this entire podcast is Rogue One. You know
yeah, it was all right.
That's just got this is going to...
Yeah.
Can we make this into like maybe like a best of 2016, like a review sort of thing, and then basically give Matt half an hour to talk about Rogue One, essentially?
Cool. Could you let me know when you do? Because I want to avoid the spoilers.
Have you not seen it?
Have you not seen it yet?
No.
Dude.
Had a chance, man.
He's a dad.
All right.
He's got a wee Ben.
Right, I'm gonna have. Right, we're gonna have to do that when it comes to that part, Bev. We're just gonna have to go stick your fingers in your ear. No.
Spoiler.
We can't go on for fucking ages about Rogue One if Bevan's not seen it. We'll have to do another reaction podcast at a later date. Let's talk about things that are you say spoilers, Bevan. You've seen A New Hope. You know how it ends. It's the prequel to that. There's not really a lot there that's particularly spoilery. I just want to because let's just each have like a quick elevator pitch of things you liked, things you didn't like, as spoiler free as possible. So Matt, you now have 2 minutes, and I'm counting you, to talk about Rogue One, what you liked, what you didn't like, and I'll tell you when your minute's up to. Okay, 1 minute. We've got 1 minute about what you like, 1 minute about what you don't like.
Matt's
Matthew,
thesis on Rogue One.
Go.
Right. It's just a war film. For me, Rogue One is a more sort of mature, old school in a way, and I mean old school in the way that sort of like Bridge over the River Kwai or The Dirty Dozen is. It's sort of like an old school type war film. And the best thing about it for me, hands down, is the fact that the rebellion is very grey in it. There's a darker side to it, and I love that. I loved the fact that the rebellion had this darker underside to it, without obviously any spoilers for Bev, but that for me just blew my mind. Loved it. As for stuff I didn't like, I didn't have a lot of issues with it. The only sort of major niggle for me was Darth Vader's cape. What? It really annoyed
me.
It
too.
Really annoyed
me
for
fucking too.
It really annoyed me.
Yeah.
It made me annoyed me for some reason. It's like in the other films, he's got this clasp and it's like draped over his shoulders, but it's like he's just got out of his chamber. Went shit. I've got a guest, and he tucks it into his fucking thing. I was like, what are you doing?
It's like,
You're ruining it.
Tarkin's here. Better put my legs on. Hang on. Oh.
Yeah, it's like. I was like, oh shit, I can't find my clasp anywhere. I'll just tuck
his imperial brooch.
There were several moments with Vader that I wanted to imagine that he's like really insecure. So this isn't a spoiler. He has a conversation with a certain someone, and then chokes them, and he's like, "Careful, you don't choke on your aspirations, and then he walks out, and I want to imagine that the doors close and there's like a peon. He's like, did I blow it? Was that cool or was it corny? Like, no, Lord Vader, no, that was perfect. Like, you were brilliant. You were brilliant. No, don't be worried. No, he loved it. They loved it. I don't know. I just puns. Is this really what I'm about now? Well, no, it's fine, Anakin. I mean Vader. Like, that's what I think probably happened.
I know the guy who played him. Obviously who did the voice, but obviously he played the physical actor.
You know
for him,
him?
A guy called Spencer Wilding. Yeah, a guy called Spencer Wilding. He
why the fuck isn't he on the podcast then?
Because
he said,
I guess I could talk to him. We interviewed him ages ago. He was the blue guy in Guardians of the Galaxy. You know, the guy who steals Star-Lord's headset.
Oh, right.
All right. Okay.
Oh, he was at Midway Film and Comic Con. You should have said you known him. I would have gone and said like a proper hello and said hi. Matt Geary says hi. Yeah. I covered that for Geek Pride. I'm going to be back at the con in April because I'll be covering it for Geek Pride, but also I'll be shilling my wares, which is very exciting. But anyway, that's news. Okay, so good.
So that was it.
Okay.
In general, good, and only one major niggle, and that was Darth Vader's clothes. Just before you carry on, better than
you want to shut the fuck up. You want to shut the fuck up and watch your whore mouth.
Do you know what my new piece, my so far 4 pages long, is entitled
4 pages long.
4 pages at this, because I'm going to cut it down.
Yeah, damn right you want to cut down your fucking blasphemy about Empire. Better than fucking Empire.
And it says better than Empire.
What is wrong with you?
Bunch of savages in this town.
Better than fucking. I mean, I'd have taken better than A New Hope. I'd have taken better than even like Jedi, because I think it's either my fourth or third or fourth favorite Star Wars film. Yeah,
third.
All right, why is it? Well, wait.
Empire is fucking number 1. Then you've got A New Hope. Then I can't decide whether it's either. It's like a 3-way fight between Force Awakens, Rogue One, and Jedi. Because I like Jedi, because it's got like the whole Luke's basically become a grey Jedi. He's morally ambiguous and he's awesome. But then you've also got no, which is fucking ridiculous. So yeah, it's a problem. It's a problem for me. Anyway, Rogue One. I was a big fan of it. I really enjoyed it. I loved the 1,000,001 little nods to the now non-canon. Now canon, non-canon, canon, and yeah, I loved it. My one, and this is gonna sound really weird, but my one niggle with it is if I had to have a problem with it, I really Felicity Jones's performance just didn't sell it to me at all. I thought she looked the part. She was going through the motions of the part, but I just did not feel her performance at all. She was just really gave a really kind of bland and frigid performance.
Do you think that was maybe the way that it was recut?
There was just something about it. Maybe it's the way it was recut, yeah. But then it's the speech she gave about we're rebels, we live on hope, like literally like that. Do you know what I mean? And there wasn't any fire under her. She's no Rey.
Yeah. Agreed.
And I know obviously Rey's one we've got the Force and rah rah rah. But yeah, most of the women we've seen in Star Wars have been, sassy, kick-assing bitches. And I don't need them to wear perfect makeup or have their hair in buns or anything for me to accept them. It's just that I didn't really feel her character as a leading lady. Maybe that's the way she's been written. Maybe that's the way she performs. I haven't seen her in anything else, so I can't really judge her on anything else. But yeah, that was, and it kept sort of throughout the film. I'm just like, I don't feel for this character. I don't know why. So yeah, but the rest of it, yeah, loved it. I loved Let's Ram a Star Destroyer. That was fun.
Oh, that ship's in the Hammerhead is
the Hammerhead Corvette.
Oh fuck. Yeah, what's it in? It's in Star Wars Rebels. I haven't seen it, but I've been told apparently Rebels. I haven't seen.
Rebels is fucking incredible, and you need to watch it. You watch the first episode and you go, "Oh, this is really, really Disney," and then they sort of find their voice and just kind of get on with it. And Rebels is fantastic.
Do you not think it's a bit weird that it took Disney to give Star Wars that darker edge?
No, because they're letting the Star Wars team do what they want. It's the same with Marvel, mate. Apart from like all the weird shit where the mouse is kind of. If Star Wars was fragmented like Marvel is, then we would be getting subpar Star Wars films. But because Star Wars is its own thing, Disney are clever enough to go, we'll bankroll you so that everyone literally can't breathe without hearing the word Star Wars. But they know to let the people that they trust to get on with it. And because the people that they trust can get on with it and can use all the characters, there doesn't have to be any weird phasing out of the comics or anything like that. It was a totally Disney move to go, oh, fuck everything off. Nothing is canon apart from the films and Clone Wars. And now they get to build their own universe. They get to get a creative teams in that have got vision for Star Wars that falls in line with what Disney want, which is, you know, more toys, more revenue, more people, more bums on seats. And it's totally working for them. So I don't think it's a weird thing that Disney brought out the darker side of Star Wars, because we've seen that because they're letting the teams get on with it. And Star Wars has always been a dark story as far as I'm concerned.
And I think it's maybe like a it's a nature of films nowadays anyway, that films have to have a darker edge. I mean, you look at even the Marvel films. The Marvel films have become increasingly dark and a lot of conflict, and you know, you need to have that sort of grittier edge as opposed to, you know, you're not going to have, you know, I mean, they tried it with the prequels, but badly executed as they were, but they tried to introduce that sort of darker edge because everyone wants to see a recreation of Empire, but no, didn't really work.
Yeah. I am in full agreement.
Right, so what's your elevator pitch then, Mr. Foy? What did you think?
Really enjoyed it. I mean, I spoke to you the first podcast that we did. It was probably the thing I spoke about most, because it was something that I really wanted to see. As you said, it was the whole, you know, Dirty Dozen / Kelly's Heroes in the Star Wars universe. I liked the darker edge. I liked the fact that it adhered very nicely into New Hope. I'm not spoiling anything here, but it fits perfectly. It leads into it. It's, you know, I really enjoyed the action set pieces. It looked stunning. The main fights at the end looked incredible. Both the space battle and the ground force battle just looked fantastic. The one thing that let it down, and it was just the characterization. I think that a lot of the ensemble cast, you know, were just thrown in. You know, they just appeared out of nowhere, and there was no backstory. There was no nothing. You were meant to sort of care about these characters as they, you know, progressed. I'll not spoil anything, but as they progressed to the end of the story, and to be honest, I didn't really. I was just Go ahead.
Well,
no, go ahead.
Sorry, carry on. Apologies. Well, no, this is sort of a part of what I'm trying to get to in my article and stuff, is that I can understand there's certain niggles with Rogue One, but my argument against that is sort of, when we watch the old films when we were kids, you don't go into a film thinking about the acting or even the graphics and stuff. You're just there for a good time to see Space Wizard. A good time, Space Wizard. You don't think, you don't put a lot of thought into it, and you love it, and you come out of it, and you're like, "That's the best thing else, Dad." Because I remember, like, my first ever memory of going to the cinema with my dad was going to see when Return of the Jedi came out, and I was really young. We watched all three of them back to back. Because I was just about old enough to see Jedi when it came out, and then we watched. It was like in the cinema. Some, like, I can't even remember. I think it was on the Lisburn Road or something, some cinema, and Went to see all three of them. I loved it. I was just like, just got fond memories. Don't remember lots about the sort of the acting or anything. Just kind of coming out of it as a kid and going, Star Wars, but Star Wars, Star Wars. And my argument is that we have grown up with these films, and they mean a lot to us. They're very sort of, people are very protective of them. They're very sort of sometimes a bit brutal. I feel sorry for George Lucas sometimes, because he's the father of Star Wars, and he gets a lot of shit for his prequels, which may or may not been a bad idea. But
they're terrible, dude. They're terrible. Come on, be honest.
But anyway, I think but anyway, the guy created this thing, and I was thinking about this when Carrie Fisher died. Sorry, a bit of a tangent here, but when Carrie Fisher died, and everybody's like, "Oh my God, brilliant, it's Carrie Fisher," but nobody really talked about her that much until more recently, and it was like everybody's like got this big whole mourning thing. It's just like I was just thinking, when George Lucas dies, there's going to be this massive epitaph about him being the father of Star Wars and being this thing, and nobody will really give a shit that he created 3 subpar Star
Can
Wars
I be really controversial?
Star Wars, and I think
Star Wars was successful in spite of George Lucas. George Lucas is the creator of Star Wars. I will give him that. Much of what was put into the creation of Star Wars was ripped off from other, from other filmmakers, from other authors, be it Kurosawa, be it science fiction, be it Dune, be it other science fiction or historical literature. But the thing about Lucas is, I give him fair play. He is a great screenwriter. He's a great ideas man. Indiana Jones is fantastic. Willow is fantastic. I know a lot of people probably don't agree, but he is a great ideas man. He is a terrible director. The reason why A New Hope works as a film is because it was a brand new, no one had ever seen anything like that before. If you go back and watch A New Hope now and compare it to Irvin Kershner's direction in Empire, or even something like Spielberg. Spielberg was obviously meant to the original choice to do Return of the Jedi. If you compare it to those films, New Hope is not a well-directed film. The performances are lackluster at best. Carrie Fisher I think is fantastic. She's probably the person that comes out best in the film. Mark Hamill is a whiny bitch the entire way through. Harrison Ford is just lazy, very lazy. It's not until Irvin Kershner gets his hands on Harrison Ford in Empire when you see the real Harrison Ford, the witty, the one-liners, his fantastic banter with Carrie Fisher and with C-3PO as they're trying to escape the Death Star. That's when the Harrison Ford that we all know was born. He was a fucking carpenter who'd just been pulled off because he was George Lucas' mate.
He was a carpenter, wasn't he? Yeah.
Yeah. Well, this sort of kind of goes into what, before I made the tangent there, what my argument's about. So we, as kids, grew up with these films, and we love them, we cherish them, we defend them. There's very, very strong arguments. Like when I said better than Empire, there's like, oh my God, how dare you, sort of thing. There's very strong better than Empire, strong things going on, and it's not. It's because when you grew up with them, and kids are like sponges, and they absorb things, and they mean a lot to them. There's stuff that you will hold really dear to you as a kid, which are shit. There'll be games that you played and stupid things that are stupid that if you looked at now you go, those are ridiculous. Why do I like that? There's songs I like that stupid songs that my dad and me used to listen to when I was kids. I love, but I would never listen to if I'd listen, if I started listening to them now, because they're nostalgia. They're harkening me back to them, and I think that gives us bias to our views on if things are good or bad. Now, when I say better than Jedi,
I agree with you on
because
that. It's better than Jedi.
It's better than Jedi, better than Empire. Sorry, it's like we as kids have kept this, and then we have. Then nobody's going to say anything bad against this, because anything bad against this or anything that surpasses this will be a bullet to my childhood, will be sort of like cutting down everything that I grew up to and believed. And I think people are unwilling to accept things surpassing things that they loved when they were kids, even if deep down they know that, like you said, the acting in a lot of the early Star Wars films wasn't great. You know, some of the props weren't great, some of the effects and things weren't great, and all of these things, like about Rogue One, people go on about the CG and some of it, and some of the acting with some of the other characters and the development of the characters and stuff. And I was like, well, was it any different than A New Hope? Was it any different than things like that? It's just like, it wasn't in my mind. And it's just because we have this bias of we were brought up.
What you're trying to describe, Matt, is it's a psychological term known as a schema. Are you familiar with that term?
No, I've never.
Okay, so in psychology, I think it was Bowlby. If I'm wrong, psychology nerds, then berate me over on my Twitter. There's a thing called a schema, and it's why eyewitness testimony is being brought into question. A schema is the filter through which you see the world. So the reason they're saying like eyewitness testimony to bring it into the real world is, say you grew up traditionally in a racist family, for example. If you've been told all your life since you were a little boy that people of colour are more likely to steal, if you're to witness a robbery and you just see a flash of it, you know, you just see a drive-by or you just see a hit and run, and they go, would you describe the person that was in the car? You are more likely, because of your schema, because of the thoughts and feelings that have been imprinted to you due to the process of socialization, due to a process of cognitive development passed down to you. Yeah, and because of that, you are more likely to go, oh yeah, it was a dark-skinned gentleman, or you know, it was a person of colour, even if it wasn't. Because your scheme is affected. So what you're effectively saying is, because they had such an imprint in you on a child, when you look back on it, you see it with the same eyes, and you imprint those feelings on it. Now, I agree with you, but I think that most of us who are sort of the more I'm going to go out on a limb here and say we're the more learned of society, who you know, the difference between us and normal people is normal people who go, I like Star Wars, yeah, it's like explosions and aliens and shit, it's all right. Whereas we would be like, the fucking cinema, we've just gone on about fucking Ivan Kershner and like the directorial process and about all of it. I wanted to spin off into talking about the original script of the Star Wars, and the fact that basically Spielberg, and I think it was Roman Polanski, but again I could be wrong, doctored the script and went, you've got a good idea here, mate, but this is what you need to do, get rid of all this bullshit.
Coppola cut a lot out of it as well.
Spielberg and Polanski. It might be Coppola. It might not be Polanski. It might be Coppola. Basically, doctor the script. Anyway, the fact is, the reason that the thing that makes you a geek is that you have the obsessive, or almost compulsive, need to find out more about a thing you like. Because of that, I would say that I personally, and I think probably a few people would agree, that when you look back on Empire, I don't see it with rose-tinted glasses. Yeah, it gives me a warm, fuzzy feeling, but I'm able to look through that and go, actually, this is incredibly well shot. The plot is brilliant. The fact that it ends, it's a traditional hero's journey. Literally, the hero loses something at the end, and that doesn't really happen in a. And the fact that this was 1983, is it? Was it 1983?
Yeah. Or no, sorry, it was 1980.
The fact that this
1980 was Return of the Jedi, was
Jedi's
83.
Yeah, Jedi's 82, 83, yeah.
When was Empire, sorry?
1980.
1980, okay. So during the 70s, films didn't really know how to end. If you watch a lot of films in the 70s, they just kind of, you're like, see, explosion, stuff, and end. And you'll go, what? Okay. The kind of the story structure, really A New Hope kind of was the first film of its kind. It broke many ground. I could talk about why A New Hope was absolutely fundamental in modern day cinema till the cows come home. But the fact is, the modern story structure has only been around for 30, 40 years. And it happened a bit in the 70s, but it really got solidified in the 80s. And that's why Empire is incredible, because it is a perfect example of that hero's journey. And it
Yeah, but I'm not saying like Empire was always my favorite as well. Like as a kid, it was the one that sort of left the biggest imprint on me.
Fuck yeah.
The Hoth battle for me was just like, I just kind of, I love that. And that's, with Rogue One, that's where sort of there was a connection for me, and like things surpassing it. I didn't kind of go. I went into Rogue One thinking, yeah, it's filler. I'm not really that bothered. I'm just waiting for Star Wars, to come out. When I saw it, I was just like, oh my fucking god, what the fuck just happened? It was all, like you said, all the nods, all the things, but just the battles and stuff just reminded me of Empire. And in my mind, I was just like, I kind of wish, because there's a lot of action in Rogue One, and it's pretty constant throughout. Whereas with Empire, you've got a big set battle at the start. You've got a lot of faffing around in the middle, and then you've got the big.
I wouldn't call it faffing around.
Faffing around?
What?
Faffing
the Falcon being chased.
Are you for real?
Dagobah, all of the stuff on Cloud City. Are you having a laugh, Matt? Come on.
Are you fucking high?
No, look, that,
faffing
around. That's just faffing around. Yes. Here, we're all entitled to our opinions.
Can I just make one point?
I think the sky is red. There's my opinion. I'm wrong, but that's my opinion. I'm totally allowed to fucking have it, but it doesn't make it any more right, Matthew. Faffing fucking around.
Oh, there you go.
Faffing
it
around.
Wasn't.
Faffing around.
You learn.
It wasn't.
Right, go on, David. No, school.
It wasn't. I don't think it was the Rogue One that was meant to come out.
Yes. As well?
It's second.
No, the Bothans is in the second Death Star.
Fucking round.
Yeah.
There's a lot of misunderstanding.
It wasn't the Rogue One that was meant to I think was meant to be released. To be honest, I think if you look at the original trailer, and if you look at, I know Mike, you talked about her performance. If you look at the original trailer and her sort of nonchalant, sort of throwaway, the whole I rebel and all that sort of nonsense. You can tell, and there's a ton of shots in both trailers that didn't actually make it into the film. There's talk of what actually happened was Gareth Edwards intentionally wanted to play up the whole, as I mentioned, Dirty Dozen, the whole gritty battle, hardened group, and there was going to be a lot more character-driven stuff. But what had happened was Disney, whenever the producers and whenever Disney saw the original cut, they panicked because, just as Matt has mentioned, the film itself, even though he intentionally wanted to make it for an older audience, they realized that, okay, this is our cash cow, this is our kids' cash cow, so they intentionally dumbed it down, recut it to have more action and less character development and less discussion and so on. So it was less dialogue. Sorry. So it probably is a totally different film than what Gareth Edwards had originally intended. And that's what was disappointing for me, because I think having a mature, dark movie within the Star Wars universe, the first one since probably Empire, I think would have been fantastic. And I think trying to dumb it down in the same way that they, to make it the same as the kid-friendly way that The Force Awakens was, I think maybe ruined the mystique of what Rogue One could have been.
Yeah, I don't know if I agree. I just literally. Yeah.
If there's a director's cut coming out soon, that will be interesting.
Yeah. Also, we said we were going to. We said we were going to talk about it for. We jokingly said that Matt was going to go on about it for half an hour. We are at 27 minutes, so I think perhaps we should move on. And I think the man who hasn't spoken in literally 20 minutes should probably get the say on what we talk about next.
Well, that's all right. I tried to come in with the Bothan comment, and then I got shot down. So I thought, do you know what? I'm going to politely step back and drink my chai latte.
Good plan.
And here we are.
You're like the living embodiment of that meme of Kermit the Frog drinking the tea. He's just like, I'm gonna stay out of it. No way. I'm gonna drink my chai latte.
This is not.
Bevan, is there anything in particular? Yay! Is there anything you particularly want to? We could sit and do Kermit the Frog impressions all day. It'd be great.
Be amazing.
Bevan, what subject do you want to talk about today? Yay!
Hello, Miss Piggy.
No one's safe.
Wow.
I don't know. I've just been thrown by all the Kermit the Frogs. Do you know? I didn't really have a topic to come into.
Did you get any?
Sorry.
Did you get any board? Did you get any?
Do you know? I didn't get a single one. I got an expansion for one, which is an amazing game called Time Stories, but that's the only one. I've just I had to actually go and buy my own board game for Christmas and gift it to myself.
You know what?
If you can't be good to yourself, who can you be good
It
to?
was terrible. And no blame to... Well, exactly. I mean, it was probably my own fault. I said, "Oh, just give me money." I didn't really give any specifics. I mean, the Time Stories expansion I actually bought for myself, and then people started asking, "What presents do you want?" And I went, "Okay, I suppose I can wait," and just had to hand it over and get from the money back.
Do you know? I've actually got to that point now where I've got all the sort of kind of board games and expansions that I kind of need. Yeah. I was like thinking for Christmas, I was just like, "What can I get?" And I was like, I've got that, and I've got that, and I've got that, and I've got that, and I got that, and I've got that. And then I was like, well, oh shit, I don't really have anything else I can get board game wise, unless I start going like full, non-miniature based games.
Dude, is your man cave not just like?
And suddenly Matthew was overcome with an incredible ennui.
So Russell did buy me Exploding Kittens.
Lovely. Which one? The not safe for work version? Black box?
I got 4 versions of the game for Kickstarter.
There's 4 versions.
No. Well, I got 2 of the same two.
Yeah,
because when you back because I backed the Kickstarter super early, they were like, stretch goal, you can just have another 2 boxes because we love you. I was like, all right, cheers. Okay. So I ended up giving it to my friend for her birthday, and she loved it. That's especially because the box opened and it meowed and it made her do a squee. So I guess that's
genius. I just couldn't believe when they opened it.
It was cool. It freaked the fuck out of me. Yeah, well, I was like, what? Because I was still living with my ex at the time, and I had a very annoying cat. So I just opened it up and be like, meow, and I was like, fuck off. Oh no, hang on, the box. Okay, I'm gonna go and put that in the corner now.
Brilliant.
But yeah, no, it was good.
Okay.
What did anyone else get anything particularly? I mean, I did do this last time for the Christmas podcast, but did anyone get anything particularly cool for Christmas?
I got a Macho Man Randy Savage Christmas jumper, which unfortunately arrived today. Which unfortunately only arrived through the post today. Today being the 5th of January, day of recording this. So I'm stuck in that sort of limbo where it's like I have this amazing Christmas jumper. Do I still wear it now that it's in January, or do I have to now wait for a year to wear it? It's fucking Randy Savage, you know.
Well, I was listening to the radio.
For like, it's today is the last day. Today is the 12th day of
Christmas.
Christmas.
Is 12 days.
Yeah, today's the
Is it? Shit,
yeah.
My
but it arrived today and it's awesome.
Oh, I took mine down today. I was so depressed.
Yeah, I hate taking Christmas decorations down. It's well depressing. It's like,
there goes the magic for another year.
Yeah. What did you get, Mike?
Mostly money, to be honest, because I sort of had some throwaway comments of my mum was like, "What do you want?" I was like, "Honestly, pay a bill, please," because my housemate's just moved out, so I'm paying for the place on my own. And then, God love her, she paid my fucking rent for a month. Which was just like it's quite a lot of money, and I was a bit like taken aback. Yeah, it was very nice. It was a weird Christmas, as those of you that follow the other currently on hiatus podcast, Gentleman Chats know. I have a strange relationship with my family, and I had a very odd Christmas that I'll talk about. You guys don't need to hear about my nonsense Christmas. It was lovely. It was like really nice, but it was like really really odd. And I watched David Attenborough, and I literally got a because I need a washing up bowl. My sister bought me a washing up bowl full of sweets, and I laid on my side and watched Community one of my days off, and literally just shoveled shit into my face.
That's Christmas.
Like
that has to be done.
Fat fucking mess. And yeah. Mate, honestly, like I went back to training yesterday for the first time in nearly 6 weeks, and I haven't stopped eating in 6 weeks. I'm glad we don't have cameras on, because you'd be like, why has Jabba got a neck beard? But yeah, like I went back to training and I was so like fucking just puffed out. Like, this is awful. Why is this so hard again? It's like I've just started. He's like, well, you've like ruined your body. you need to like stop. Yeah, you need to stop eating. I'm like, you are probably right. Yes. And then I went home, had a steak, and slept for 12 hours. That was my life. Anyway, yeah. So I got some pretty cool like little tidbits for Christmas, which was nice. What about you, Matthew?
Hot toys, baby. I got hot toys.
Fucking hell, who loves you to get you hot toys?
Well, my girlfriend got me a
She
hot
made of
toy,
money.
and I should get this right because we've been going.
She's an accountant.
And,
Fucking hell,
she's very
you
generous.
lucked in
She's
there.
up where that bodes well with you anyway. Jesus Christ.
Yeah, she's an accountant.
Many credit cards do you have to?
Yeah. But yeah,
I feel that Geek Pride is
apparently
suddenly
she
going to
talked
become very flush.
Awesome.
We're not going to know. We're not going to know how or why. But Geary's going to come with all this new stuff and just be like, "No, I just found it."
Has she set you up a
found it."
spreadsheet
Hang
for your
on.
finances yet?
Yeah, that's for the business.
Matt Geary, finances.
But she'd been on to my brother.
What?
She's like, I don't know, to sort of say.
Oh.
I just spat my Pepsi all over my desk there.
I thought you were telling me
that
like
way.
about how they met, and you're like, well, first she was on my brother. I'm like, oh, right, okay, that's how you Irish do it. Fair enough. Oh shit, sorry, not a complete tangent, but do we need to announce the winner of Make
Has
Matt
anyone won
Great
it?
Again? Nobody
Nobody.
hashtagged it.
Nobody.
I bet I did. I should win it. Did you buy any?
It was real. No.
You bellend.
Nobody did it.
Well, hang
I was
on,
very
let me check.
I was very disappointed, but you know why that was? Because certain traders ruined it for everybody in the last podcast by saying Fanta
Was that
the best thing ever.
Is that aimed at me, Matthew?
He thought I was going to listen to that shit. And you know what? I'll tell you something. I listen to all these podcasts, motherfuckers. I'm everywhere.
You never listen to Gentlemanly Chats. The only time you've ever listened to Gentlemanly Chats is where you went.
You know, I do listen to.
Yeah, you listened to that one episode where I
I
spent 5 minutes going, I'm not gay, and then had like a mini breakdown. Excuse me, who's Phil Reynolds?
What?
Who's Phil Reynolds?
No.
Is he anyone you know? Right, okay, so I've just searched for the hashtag Make Matt Great Again. Phil Reynolds, I would like to try that orange soda. Hashtag
got a
Make Matt
winner.
Great Again, except not the painful ear grating.
Oh my God,
not on the
we got
podcast. Yeah,
somebody.
Spasmic Puppy, Jim Buckingham said Make Matt Great Again. Geek Pride, Christopher, whoever Christopher is, the Irish something, he also said Make Matt Great Again. These were all on the 21st of the 11th. You are a douchebag. You should. You need to.
No, it's right. No, because Dave lives in Northern Ireland.
We need to get Phil Reynolds. If you're listening to the podcast, I wasn't in charge of this giveaway. I am so sorry that you didn't get your orange Fanta and that you were ignored. No, hang on. There's a like on it. If that like's from Geek Pride have fucking liked it. You didn't. You motherfuckers. You are a douche canoe. I don't run the Geek Pride Twitter.
Matthew.
I don't run the fucking Geek Pride Twitter.
There's
you
a few
do.
people on it.
Oh, there's a
There's gonna be
few
other
people
people,
on it.
actually.
Okay.
Yes, actually.
Geek Pride 1,
Yeah.
I would like to try that orange soda, except not the painful ears grating, not on the podcast, thanks. Don't know what that means, probably about my voice. I've just shouted, sorry Phil, but I'm trying to help you out, so fuck off. He's got what? There's one like, I'm going to like it as well. There's one like on that, and you're the one that liked it, Matt.
Well, let's do it. Let's send it to him. I fucking didn't remember. I thought we had got nobody in. I didn't intentionally.
Right,
go,
so we have three
yeah,
people
like,
who
that, 'cause
potential
I'm
winner.
like that.
Shall we pick one, or should we just like send bottles?
We'll give
We'll
it
give
to
it to
Phil. 'Cause
Phil.
He was the first one.
Yeah,
then.
Phil.
Yeah, we'll give it to
Yeah.
Phil.
Right.
I'll message. I'll
And
message
Jim
him
and Jim
then,
Jim
and
won
then
a like not to like rat Jim out, but Jim won a literally a random contest at the
right,
other
okay,
website
okay.
that I worked for. So fuck him. Like he won a game. So Phil gets Fanta from Geek Pride because
Congrats, Phil.
because Jim won a fucking whole game to himself. So yeah,
Okay,
thanks
I'll send
Phil.
him a
Yeah,
message
drop us
and then
a
I'll
message
get
on
it
on
sent.
Facebook. Geek
Yeah.
Pride 1 is it?
Yeah,
Yeah, Geek Pride 1. Or just follow the fucking just follow the Facebook page or DM us or I don't know,
Carrier
smoke
pigeon,
signals
yeah.
or something. Just say shout our name. Do murders and write our name in the blood and we'll find you.
Just
We'll
don't
find you,
hashtag it
Phil.
because they won't find you.
Matt will like it, but he just will.
Or
he's
Matt
just
apparently
ignore
won't find the
Yes,
hashtag he created,
obviously.
yeah. But
I go on the autopilot sometimes when I go on my social media things. It's just like, and move on to the next one, like and stuff. And yeah, I do pay attention sometimes. I'm a busy man.
Right, guys, we need to do another hashtag, which is something like, I don't know, get Matt's ears working again or something, and we're just going to have to try that one out. Try something
Right,
completely
new
different,
competition.
totally
Hang on, what can we give away? What have I got knocking about? No, do you know what?
Okay.
We're gonna have a lot of stuff. We're gonna have a New Year's giveaway
Are we?
soon, and we've got a boat. I'm talking about a boatload of stuff.
I've got a 5-hour
Loads
energy
of
all the way
stuff.
from America that my friend gave me that I haven't opened yet. It's a berry flavour. That's quite nice. I'll be happy to send that. What else
can
have I
throw
got
in a
lying
board
around
game,
the house?
if that's any kind of titillation.
Fucking hell, all right, just a way to upstage me. I thought we were doing like a shit giveaway, like Northern Irish Fanta. I thought we were doing like a jokesy, like, oh, you can have whatever's lying around the office, and then in comes Bevan XCOM give it to you with like, yeah, well, here's my big board game, dick, flopping it out on the table.
Well, what
Right,
else
you're
am I
fathered
supposed to
enough
give?
children.
Like a Cornish pasty? That's just like, you get that in the
Yes,
box, the fuckers
that's a
just
brilliant
stick into it.
idea. Yes, definitely. Yes, definitely. Yes. Right. Fuck it.
can win a
Right. Do you know
Cornish
what?
pasty.
Fuck you. Whoever you are, if you do the we'll think of the hashtag in a minute, but you will win a 5-hour energy and a Ginster's
Hashtag.
pasty that I buy from the
Hashtag
local,
Bev's
that I buy
gonna
from
give
the
it to
local
you.
garage. and I've also got XCOM
Oh,
give it
yes.
to you. Yeah, hang on. Let me check if that's already a hashtag, because I can't be that clever. Give me a second. And Bevan will send you a board game, but I'm going to send you a personal thank you letter from Geek Pride's Mike Orvis, who I'm like, I've been here for 4 years now. I'm semi-famous. Hashtag. And you'll get a Ginster's pasty, a 5-hour energy, a handwritten thank you note, and I've probably got in one of my many rucksacks that I do go on them adventures for, a Geek Pride badge. So I'll send you a Geek Pride badge as well.
Oh, that's good. That's good.
It's not bad, is it? XCOM give
It's all about what sort of pasta are you
It
gonna give it? Steak beef.
to literally whatever the first one. Right, so I want you to spell it XCOMGIVEITTOYA. XCOM give it to ya. So it looks like XCOM give I toya. Let me just search. Oh no, okay, hang on. Oh no. Yeah. No, XCOM give it to you is already a hashtag. Oh, fuck you, Game Ipswich. Really looking forward to XCOM 2 finally come out on PS4. XCOM give it to you. Fuck you. I thought I was clever.
Damn it.
Right, okay, hang on. Don't use that hashtag, because then unless you use that hashtag use that hashtag to help that hashtag out, but you also have to tag Geek Pride as well. And then
Yeah,
we
so- Hashtag that. Hashtag.
yeah,
Geek
well,
Pride.
when you've got a month from now, from
Right,
from
okay.
the
And what are they getting? They're
getting a
random pasty.
5-hour energy, a pasty, and a signed handwritten thank
Are we
you
gonna put it in
note
the shoebox?
and a Geek Pride badge. For
Yes,
XCOM
I
give
think
it.
this could be a
Put it in the
think
shoebox.
this could be a thing.
It's the Geek Pride equivalent of a look box.
Yes.
Or a look crate.
Oh,
The GP crate.
Loot
Yes,
crap.
You're gonna put it through the Geek Pride box, but it's gonna be in color and pencil or something like that. Something really shit.
Look crap.
We'll call it loot crap.
Couple of Ferrero Rocher for good measure. Post Christmas.
Oh, do you know what? Yeah, fuck it. Do you know what? We'll push the boat out. I'll even get you a Ferrero
Terry's
Rocher.
chocolate
You're
orange.
absolutely right.
a single
Oh,
Ferrero
wow.
Rocher.
Or a
Amazing. All right,
Yes,
cool.
yes, a single Ferrero Rocher. I will personally eat the other two.
With a bite out of it.
I will eat the other two and leave
how
the
about one of the new
wrappers.
crappy Toblerones with the extra spaces?
Oh, this gets better and better. I love it. This is incredible. I might even include like a comic. I am trying to get rid of some comics, so you might get a random
Look
comic
crap.
as well. This just gets better and better.
Dude,
The Mike's
business
House
opportunity.
clearance
Yeah, he's
sale.
gonna get a box of random stuff.
Look crap.
Basically, Mike's trying to clean his house out, and you're gonna get it all.
So we don't want the board game in there at all, because that started to make it a bit more quality, wouldn't it? That'd be a bad.
No, that makes it a
Wouldn't be
bit
crap
more.
anymore.
That makes it a bit more high end. We'll save that and give it away at another time.
Yeah, you can add that to the New Year giveaway, because we're gonna have a big, massive one. Literally, I've got a shed load of stuff, including a drone.
What? Oi,
a
fuck off!
Emperor
I want a drone. If you're just giving stuff away, I want a
drone,
fucking drone.
I've got drone, Star Wars stuff, including SDCC 2015 First Order Trooper figure.
This is fucking bullshit. If you're just giving stuff away, at least like post it to the group first. There might be things that we want. We're already giving them these incredible giveaways.
This is stuff we have had for ages, and it's literally. I've got a PlayStation, I won at SDCC a PlayStation, Street Fighter 5 gaming pad.
I play Street Fighter 5 and have a PS4. You massive bellend.
Jesus Christ,
we're giving away, and we might be giving away PlayStation.
Well, fucking like I'm right here. Where's my fucking gamepad? When you thought, oh, I've won this, I've got an Xbox. There isn't anyone possibly in Geek Pride that puts out a fucking podcast every week that could do with a lovely gamepad. No, let's not think about that. Let's think about some random fucking giveaway I'm going to do in another country 6 months from now. You're a douche. And fucking Empire. I'm still faffing about. You've really fucked me off this episode, Matt.
Oh, God.
You've got my address. I expect you to fucking I expect you to send me something lovely. I don't care what it is. I've mentioned some of the things I like. I quite like a drone. I quite like a First Order Trooper. Quite like a gamepad. Just anything you think that Mike might like, Matt. If you can just pop that along to me in the next month,
Matt, I think you should give Mike the drone. Only make sure that when you're delivering it to him, it's carrying a shoebox filled with a Ginsters for each pasty, a single Ferrero Rocher,
and a Ferrero Rocher with a bite out of it.
That's excellent, because that means I then don't have to buy it for
just a replacement for all the stuff he's getting out of his house.
I'm legitimately going to do this giveaway, by the way. This is faux reals. So whenever this podcast will be going up, hang on. So the next podcast goes up on the 8th. So this podcast will be going up on the 15th. So on the 15th of February, the day after Valentine's Day, whoever you are, if you've got a lady or not, then that doesn't matter. You won't feel sad, because on the 15th you're going to win yourself a lovely package that you'll have by the end of February. That's lovely. I don't know why I'm whispering.
By package, Mike means
I
his
don't mean
penis.
my penis. I mean
drone.
a berry flavoured 5-hour energy, a Ginsters pasty, a single Ferrero Rocher, a signed thank you letter, and a lovely Geek Pride badge.
You got to make sure the Ferrero Rocher has a bite out of it.
I'll take a bite out of the second Ferrero Rocher. I'll eat one completely and then leave a bite out of the second. Please don't clone me. I really don't want to. I don't want to be cloned. If that can be avoided. A soulless, dead-eyed version of myself is what I am at work. I don't need a real one walking around, living and trying to steal my bank details. Thank you.
All right, so we're gonna have that.
Jesus.
We haven't done the best of 2016.
Mate, it was a shit year. Everyone died. Mostly things sucked. I broke up with someone, moved out into a new house. People I loved got sick. Some of them died. It was a bullshit year. Let's swipe it under the carpet and just get on with what we're doing.
Do you know what they were saying that 2016 hasn't been any different to the other years. It's just that social media has been more sort of rampant.
I had a great year.
And I'm not sure if it's true or not, but that's the theory. They say, well, it hasn't been any different. It hasn't been any different than any other year. It's just that there's been a big social media sort of kind of hype fest this year, and.
But also, if you think about it, a lot of these guys were originally big in the 70s, and they. Unfortunately, the people that we grew up, the iconic stars, and this is kind of the wave 3 of Hollywood, but the wave that really sort of rose to the meteoric popularity of today. These films from the 70s and 80s, these actors that starred in films from the 70s and 80s and television shows as well, thinking of Andrew Sachs, these people are now coming to the end of their natural lifespan, unfortunately. It's the same with all the musicians that died as well. There was a lot of talk about, the people that died in film, but there were a lot of fucking musicians that died. 2/3 of Emerson, Lake and Palmer have fucking died last year, which was depressing as hell. So yeah, unfortunately, it's just gonna keep happening. Sorry. That's just the way that humans are. Until we upload their consciousness onto the net, and then we live in a weird dystopian post-future of Ghost in the Shell. And then we'll all have...
Talking about sort of that, do you hear about in Japan, there's an insurance company who has sacked 30 of its employees, and is replacing them with artificial intelligence because they can value claims.
What the fuck?
Yeah, yeah.
Well, I guess it's because they can do it without, you know, annoying things like emotion and decency and empathy.
Yeah, pretty much. So basically, this guy's had a really bad injury. This is how much it's worth in all the text. Blah 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 blah. That's how much we're offering you, and they do it through an algorithm. And they were having this big conversation about that. Obviously, something possibly for another podcast, but it's sort of tied in with your sort of uploading brains and artificial intelligence and stuff.
Okay. Well, we could do a very
so basically,
quick sort of
2017 is the.
Oh god. Hello.
Hello.
2017 is the year that our robot overlords finally have enough of our bullshit, put us all in zoos, and probably do things with our bottoms.
Ooh.
For fun. Bevan, sign me up!
Winner!
I don't have to get the wife to dress in tinfoil anymore. This is brilliant!
Just wandering around going, beep boop.
You can't say that in robot. That's the equivalent to the robot N-word. You can't say beep boop. That's the robot equivalent to the N-word.
But I'm down with the robes.
When I in my current running D&D game, I as you can probably imagine, like to sort of subvert the premise. And our DM was talking. She was kind of explaining what was going on, and she was like, and I'm playing a gnome, by the way. I'm a gnome bard called Glimgark, and I'm Irish. It's a whole thing. But yeah, she was like trying to describe all the sounds, and she was like, a blacksmith is hammering away at an anvil, and all you can hear is tink, tink. And I was like, tink's the fucking N-word for where I'm from. So I just went off and started spouting off in Gnomish at this dude, going, "You're a fucking racist. How dare you call me that? No one calls me that. Only we can call each other that. How far?" Like, just went off, and she was just like, the blacksmith doesn't understand what you're saying because you're saying it in Gnomish. And I was like, what does Gnomish sound like? And then it became like a sped up. Like, you know, when you make like a Stitch voice, like so you speed that up, and you're like, so it just sort of became Gnomish now sounds like that.
Brilliant.
Ben Fee does our Rogue Trader, which is effectively 40k version of D&D.
Yeah.
And he's put us on hiatus. I'm really upset about
Why has he put you on hiatus?
Because he's got kids. He's got himself another child, hasn't he? He can't keep it in his pants, unfortunately, and therefore he can't. You know, he has to sort of. And I think he's a stay-at-home dad a lot of the time, so he has to look after the kids and can't have playtime with his adult friends now. So it seems that, you know, my captain is currently stuck in a predicament with a rebellious crew and won't be doing anything for a while.
Well, my D&D game before the one I'm currently running was with my ex-girlfriend, a guy who doesn't talk to me, a guy who's moved out of my house recently, and another guy who doesn't want anything to do with me. So it's we were literally riding on a dragon about to fight the Fae. We were gearing up for war, and it was like, oh fuck! All right, never mind.
So you're literally in freeze frame for
perpetually forever and free until well, what I've decided is that in like another D&D game, I might just retake my character and put him in somewhere and just be like, I had a party but it died.
How are you gonna sort of get him off the dragon?
Well, I'll just, you know, plot device. He's a fucking wizard. Featherfall. There you go. That's a levels 3 spell. Oh god, I've crossed the line. I keep feeling that like I'm crossing a line. Like, I know this is Geek Pride, and I know you should fly your flag, but I'm starting to feel over the past sort of 6 months that I'm crossing over into territories that I don't really want to be going in. It's like when I'm having serious conversations about Star Trek, I'm like, oh no, but that's like classic nerdy. That's I don't want to become a stereotype of myself. And when you start talking about Star Trek and D&D, and you just like, no, Mike,
no, man,
stop it.
I feel you, because I'm exactly the same. Back in the day, you know, I'd class myself as a bit of a geek, but, you know, those Warhammer geeks, you used to sort of get really into sort of like the games and stuff, and really sort of like debate the history of the game and the history of the sort of the fluff behind it and stuff. I was like, yeah, nerds. You know, I'm totally cooler than you. I'm well one of those guys now. I spend days, hours, sort of like on chat rooms and stuff, debating things like that. You know, I was like, oh man, I've become everything that I despised when I was younger.
Well, I never like gave Star Trek really much of a go. Like I always knew of its existence, and I was pleased that it was around. And Generation was kind of the Star Trek that I'd watch from time to time when I was trying to like between episodes of The Simpsons and Farscape. But then I was when I broke up with the ex, I had a lot of time to kind of squirrel myself away in the basement and not talk to anyone. So I literally just started watching Next Generation. Then when I moved to my new house, I was finishing off the series, and I remember I swore off of it for 2 weeks because I was watching one episode and it was Worf and Picard were talking about something, and I literally out loud, because he said something along the lines of I'll always have your back, but he didn't say that because he's Picard and it would have been eloquent and wonderful. But then I out loud went, well, obviously you're his Kadich, which is a Klingon term for sort of your like blood brother, and I was like, oh, I've crossed the line. I just spoke Klingon out loud.
Do you know one of my favorite, like, it's not a tangent because we're talking about Star Trek. One of my favorite episodes of Generation is when Data has a daughter.
Yes, that's the creepiest fucking thing, though. That fucking creature is terrifying before it takes human form. It looks like a burned love doll.
No, I'm not. Is it the one where
he creates a daughter?
Yeah, is it the? Oh yeah, so she's the android, and then it sort of it surpasses him.
Yeah.
In its feelings, and then it dies. Yeah, and I thought it was just good because at the end he can't emote because he's Data.
Yeah.
And he doesn't have the feelings. He hasn't got the emotion chip or anything. So she just dies, and that's it. And then she's obviously upset, and he's just like.
The episode where he gets a girlfriend really like fucked with me, because I've got ADHD and I wasn't always as socially incredible as I am now. I wasn't always the life and soul of the party. I know that's probably a massive shock to all of you, but when I first had a girlfriend and was a bit like spacky, for want of a better phrase, I was like, this is how you have a girlfriend. I'm going to love you and shower you with affection, and we're going to live together forever, and blah blah blah. When I was like a kid, so it just really made me feel awkward watching this android be like, oh, this is what love is. This are the things I'm supposed to do, and like he just showers her with too much affection, and she's like, this isn't real, and that was really really awkward. I'm all right now. I give foot rubs and everything. I'm a brilliant boyfriend. Wow, thanks for the vote of confidence, gentlemen. I really fucking appreciate it.
Yeah,
wow.
Mike, you're awesome.
I was about to say, I've not been on the receiving end of a foot rub.
Is this going to get like begin the Pulp Fiction? Or something like a motherfucking foot massage?
It'll be all manly and everything, just staring into each other's eyes.
Would you ever give a man a foot
I'd give a bloke a foot massage if we were like best buds, or we were like training together or something, and like a kind of Ken and Ryu sort of relationship, then I'd give a man a foot rub. He'd be like, dude, my feet are fucking killing me. I'd be like, come on, man, let's do it. We wouldn't be sat on the sofa in our jammies watching a film or anything. But like, if we were like, well, you can't give a foot massage in a onesie. I was thinking more traditional nightgowns like Bert and Ernie.
Fantastic.
I'm glad that reference still holds up, because I said that to someone the other day and they were like, what's Bert and Ernie? I was like, oh, fuck, just kill me now.
Yeah,
oh god.
Bert and Ernie caused a political incident in Northern Ireland.
What? Please, right, we're closing out with this story.
Can I go into it? Right.
No, I don't.
So essentially, Northern Ireland is still a religious backwater. Okay, I'm proud to say that Northern Ireland is a complete religious backwater. There's still a lot of the main political party is very right, very uber religious. They oppose gay marriage, abortion rights, even shops opening on a Sunday. In some cases, is frowned upon. Yeah. It's ridiculous, but one of the biggest things that's happened was there's a bakery, one of the sort of chain of bakeries in Northern Ireland, and they are owned by a religious family who are connected with the main political party in Northern Ireland. and a member of a LGBT rights organization went into this bakery and asked to have a cake baked with a picture of Bert and Ernie on the front, with a message stating "gay marriage now," okay, or "gay yay to gay marriage" or something like that. And the bakery accepted their order, took the money,
okay,
and went to make the cake. But then once the owners of the bakery, as in the family of religious nut jobs who are connected with the main political party, once they heard about the fact that, you know, they'd taken this order, they immediately contacted the customer and said that unfortunately we aren't allowed to bake this cake due to our religious beliefs. Okay, so what happened was then the person, because they had, you know, it's a business, and they had taken the order and taken money, even though it was returned to the original, to the person who ordered it. He went to our Equality Commission, saying that he had been discriminated against because he was obviously, or because there was the assumption that he was gay. And it went to court, and the bakery was found to have discriminated against this guy on religions of or reasons of his sexuality, and they were ordered to pay compensation to the guy because they refused to bake his cake, and it became known as the gay cake saga, or the gay cake. Yeah, Bert and Ernie. Honestly, go and read about it.
Bert and Ernie.
Right. What are the titles? What are the titles of the 3 films in the gay cake saga?
Oh my god.
Oh, this could end really badly. No, it's.
Let me think.
A nude cake.
A new cake.
Oh, I suppose that was pretty weak though. Yeah. A nude cake. A nude hope.
Yeah.
These are the porn Star Wars parodies, right? There's got to think. Come on, there's got to be the Empire Strikes Back. There's got to be something for cake. Come on.
Something with confectionery.
Yeah, I mean they don't have to follow Star Wars. They could be
penis
going on about anything really. Look,
yeah,
we'll come back to you. We'll come back to you next week with our, and if you've got an idea for the movies in the cake saga and what their titles would be, please get in contact with us either at the bottom of the thread of this podcast on Facebook, which you'll find if you just type in Geek Pride, or going to our Twitter at Geek Pride 1. That is all the time we have for this episode of the Geek Pride podcast, finishing at a timely 1 hour and 1 minute. I have been Michael Orvis. I have also had with me Matthew Geary. It's a very different tone than when I started, but it's fine. I've had Bevan Catsworth and David Foy.
Good night. Yay to gay cakes.
Brilliant. Fucking faffing about, honestly.
Oh.
Yeah, just like the middle of Empire.